7. 1p3. 20, 21. 2. Heb. No middle. R. One of Zelophehad's 5 daughters, of the tribe of Manasseh. Because Zelophehad died without sons, Jehovah decreed that the daughters should receive their father's tribal possession as inheritance. This established a legal precedent. Later it was established also that daughters who inherit should become wives of men of their own tribe in order to hold the inheritance, so that it would not circulate from tribe to tribe. New 26. 28-33. 27. 1-11. 36. 6-12. Jos 17. 3, 4. Nob. A city evidently in the territory of Benjamin and close to Jerusalem. While there is some question as to the precise location of Nob, Nehemiah 11. 31, 32 and Isaiah 10. 28-32 indicate that it was near Anathoth and possibly close to a hill from which one could see Jerusalem. Some tentatively identify it with a spot on Ras El Mushref Mount Scopus, about 1.5 kilometers 1 mi of the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. That would place it just end of the Mount of Olives. When no textoi acute miritra longo, nose, nostrils 509, 2. A city of the Jordan, captured by Noba. New 32. 39, 42 evidently the name Noba did not stick, because later it is called by its original name, Kanath. 1ch2. 23 The ruins at Kanawat, about 90 kilometers 60 mi of Damascus are commonly identified with the ancient site. 3. A place situated east of the Jordan and near Jolbaha in Gad. New 32. 34, 35. JG8. 11 Its precise location is not known today. Noble. See leader, noble, prince. Nodab. One of the confederated groups overwhelmingly defeated with Jehovah's help by the tribes of Reuben and Gad and the half-tribe of Manasseh. 1ch5. 18-22 Nothing more is known of this tribe, except the possible preservation of the name inlet of the village of New Deb, in the desert of Palestine. Nogar from a root meaning shine. Son of King David, born to him in Jerusalem. 1ch3. 5-7. 14. 3-6. Noha from a root meaning rest. Settle down. The fourth listed son of Benjamin. 1ch8. 1, 2 Since he is not named among those listed in Genesis chapter 46, he was probably born after the family entered Egypt. Some suppose that Noha was another name for Shephapram or was his descendant. New 26. 39. Neph. The usual Hebrew scripture name for Memphis, an important city of ancient Egypt. Issa 19. 13. Ch2. 16. 44. 1. 46. 14, 19. As 30. 13, 16. See Memphis. Nofar. According to the Masoretic text, apparently a place in Moab. New 21. 29, 30 Such a site is today unknown. North. In addition to the usual terms of fawn, north was also indicated by the direction left, since the orientation was facing toward the rising sun in the east. GE 14. 15. FTN in scriptural usage, north may denote a section of the earth. PS 107. 3. Isla 43. 6. Lu 13. 29, a northerly direction x 26. 20. 1 Chi 7. 25. Re 21. 13, the northern sky job 26. 7, and various lands or kingdoms including Assyria Zep 2. 13 and Babylonia 46. 10 that was situated somewhat in and of the land inhabited by the Israelites. Though Babylon on the Euphrates River actually lay of Tyre, Ezekiel 26. 7 speaks of the king of Babylon as coming against Tyre from the north. Likewise, the calamity that Judah and Jerusalem were to experience from the Babylonians is referred to as coming out of the north. J1. 14, 15. The reason for this appears to be that, when marching westward, the Babylonian armies took a northerly route and thus avoided passing through the desert. This was, in fact, the customary way, as Babylonian records show. Since various lands and kingdoms are assigned a northern location, the context and other related scriptures are often helpful in determining what is meant by north or land of the north. For example, Isaiah 21, 2, 9 and Daniel 5, 28 show that the nations from the land of the north mentioned at Jeremiah 50, 9 include the Medes, Persians, and Elamites. Apparently the nations attacking Babylon are viewed as a united army or common foe of Babylon, a congregation. Many of the nations involved were far in Babylon 51, 27, 28, and much of Media was at least any of Babylon. The attack, too, evidently came from a northern direction, since Cyrus stopped the flow of the river and of the city. The king of the north. Facts of history provide still another basis for determining how north is to be understood in some texts. A case in point is the king of the north mentioned in Daniel chapter 11. Historical evidence indicates that the mighty king of Daniel 11:3 was Alexander the Great. After Alexander's death, the empire was eventually divided among his 4 generals. One of these generals, Seleucus Nicator, took Mesopotamia and Syria, this making him the ruler of territory situated in of Palestine. Another general, Ptolemy Lagus, gained control of Egypt, to the south of Palestine. Therefore, with Seleucus Nicator and Ptolemy Lagus, the long struggle between the king of the north and Otextoi acute Miritra Longo knows ring 510 Sol. GE 2. 7. This breath of life not only filled the lungs with air, but also imparted to the body the life force that is sustained by breathing. The breath being drawn into the body through the nostrils is essential to life. It sustains the life force. At the flood, everything in which the breath of the force of life was active in its nostrils, namely, all that were on the dry ground, died. GE 7. 22. The Hebrew word for nose or nostrils arf is frequently used to refer to the entire face. Adam was sentenced to earn his livelihood from the ground in the sweat of his face, literally, nose or nostrils. GE 3. 19. Lot bowed down with his face nose to the ground before the visiting angels. GE 19. 1. Sensitivity in smelling and tasting. The olfactory area is located in the upper part of the nasal cavity, where the olfactory nerves terminate in hair-like endings. Also fine endings of the trigeminal nerve are found in this area. The sense of smell in humans is very acute. According to an article in the Scientific American February 1964, p. 42. The sense of smell obviously is a chemical sense, and its sensitivity is proverbial. To a chemist, the ability of the nose to sort out and characterize substances is almost beyond belief. It deals with complex compounds that might take a chemist months to analyze in the laboratory. The nose identifies them instantly, even in an amount so small as little as a 10 millionth of a gram that the most sensitive modern laboratory instruments often cannot detect the substance, let alone analyze and label it. The nose also plays a large part in taste. There are 4 primary tastes: sweet, salt, sour, and bitter. These the taste buds in the mouth recognize. But much of the flavor in food is enjoyed because of the sense of smell. For example, a person whose nostrils are stopped up finds difficulty in distinguishing between 2 kinds of food, as most things then taste more or less flat. Beauty. Being located so prominently, a well-formed nose contributes greatly to facial beauty. In the Song of Solomon 7. 4, the Shulamite girl's nose being likened to the Tower of Lebanon may have reference to the symmetry of her nose as adding dignity and beauty to her face. God required that Israel's priests, because they were his representatives before the people, be without blemish, one of the requirements being that no priest should have a slit or mutilate a nose. La 21. 18. Illustrative and figurative uses. The word for nose or nostril arf is often used figuratively for anger, because of the violent breathing or snorting of an enraged person. See anger. It is also employed with reference to Jehovah's action, because of his anger. PS 18. 8, 15, or when he exerts his powerful active force. X 14. 21. 15. 8. The disgusting idolatry into which Israel fell was a cause for the burning anger of Jehovah against them, which he expressed through the prophet Isaiah, saying, "These are as smoke in my nostrils, a fire burning all day long." Issa 65. 5. Proverbs 30. 32, 33 states, "If you have acted senselessly by lifting yourself up, and if you have fixed your thought upon it, put the hand to the mouth. For the churning of milk is what brings forth butter, and the squeezing of the nose is what brings forth blood, and the squeezing out of anger is what brings forth quarreling." This strongly emphasizes the trouble that can be caused by one who speaks wrongly or who harbors up anger or lets it out unrestrained. Here, in a play on words, anger is the dual form of the word for nose. Nose ring. An ornamental ring worn on the nose. It was inserted either through the left or the right side of the nose or through the partition separating the nostrils, and was especially worn by women. GE 24. 22, 30, 47. Issa 3. 21 Ishmaelite men, however, according to some translations, also wore nose rings. JG 8. 24-26. The Hebrew word for otextoi acute miritra longo, number, numeral 511 measurements are written out in full. Spelling out the numbers provides an added measure of accuracy and dependability in the manuscripts of the Hebrew scriptures, which have been copied many times, for, in copying, a numeral is usually easier to mistake than a word. In Hebrew, numbers above 10 are a combination of words, such as 12, 2 and 10 GE 14. 4, except that 20 is the plural of 10. 30 a plural word derived from 3. 40 a plural word derived from 4, and so on. 100 is a separate word. 200 is the dual form. Other hundreds are composed of two words, as 300. The highest number expressed